Friends, get ready because today we're diving into a red-hot topic, full of international tension, conspiracies, and high-level politics. How close was Donald Trump to losing his life? What role does Iran play in all of this? And what can we expect in the future from the ever-complicated geopolitical chessboard? Today, we'll talk about explosive declassified information, the Ayatollahs, the strategy of maximum pressure, and how all of this could once again shake the world with Trump potentially returning to the White House. Buckle up, this is unmissable. The assassination attempt on Trump and the Iranian connection. Let's start with something truly shocking. Recently, declassified documents in the United States revealed that Iranian agents, yes, you heard that right, Iranian agents, planned to take Donald Trump's life. According to these revelations, Trump was incredibly close to being assassinated in Pennsylvania by a man named Thomas Matthew Crooks. Although the shots missed their target, this was not the only attempt. And the most chilling part is that all evidence points to the Iranian government, specifically the Revolutionary Guard, having Trump in their crosshairs. Why is Iran so fixated on Donald Trump? Friends, let's remember that Trump is one of the most declared enemies of the Ayatollahs. During his term, he implemented what became known as the maximum pressure strategy, a policy aimed at striking the Iranian regime at its weakest point, its economy. This strategy tore up the nuclear deal that Obama had negotiated with Iran and imposed sanctions so severe that they literally plunged Iran's economy into chaos. The impact of the maximum pressure strategy. What did these sanctions mean? Essentially, they were a death blow to oil, the backbone of the Iranian economy. To give you an idea, before the sanctions, Iran was exporting 2.5 million barrels of oil a day. By the end of Trump's term, those exports had dropped to less than 500,000 barrels daily. This represented a loss of tens of billions of dollars in revenue. What were the consequences? Iran spiraled into an economic crisis. The Iranian currency, the rial, lost two-thirds of its value. Inflation skyrocketed to peaks of 50%, obliterating the purchasing power of its citizens. Essential goods, like meat and medicine, saw price hikes of up to 1,000%. This situation not only affected Iranian families but also weakened Iran's allies in the region, such as Hezbollah and Hamas, who saw massive cuts in the funding they received from Tehran. The maximum pressure strategy triggered mass social protests, like those in November 2019, where a gasoline price hike led to a movement that left hundreds, if not thousands, dead, according to Amnesty International. Iran adapts, ghost ships and strategic alliances. However, and this is key, the Iranian regime did not surrender. Against all odds, they managed to stay afloat. How? By implementing clever strategies like using ghost ships, oil tankers that turn off their transponders to evade sanctions and sell oil clandestinely to countries like China. Moreover, they strengthen ties with powers like Russia and China, creating what some analysts call a new multipolar world. These alliances helped Iran withstand the economic siege and maintain some level of internal stability. But, as we'll see later, this strategy has its limits, and the possibility of Trump returning to the White House has put the Ayatollahs back on edge. Iran's nuclear program, a growing threat. Now let's talk about one of the most concerning issues, Iran's nuclear program. After the collapse of the 2015 nuclear deal, Iran began enriching uranium to alarming levels. Current estimates suggest they have over 120 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%, a level that, in theory, already allows them to build nuclear weapons. Worse still, while in 2015 it was estimated that Iran would need a year to build a nuclear bomb, today that timeframe has shrunk to weeks. This has led both Donald Trump and many leaders in Israel to suggest that the best course of action would be to directly attack Iran's nuclear facilities. But hold on, this is not as simple as it seems. For instance, the Fordo plant, where much of the enrichment takes place, is buried 80 meters underground, a true fortress. Furthermore, an attack could trigger an all-out war, something Trump has been keen to avoid at all costs. What can we expect from Trump if he returns to power? So, what will happen if Trump returns to the White House? Well, friends, all indications point to an even more aggressive version of the maximum pressure strategy. We're talking about much harsher sanctions aimed at reducing Iran's oil exports to nearly zero. This, combined with a possible collapse of the Iran-Russia alliance, could leave the Ayatollahs completely isolated. But there's more. Israel could play a crucial role in this strategy. There's speculation that Trump would greenlight selective attacks on critical Iranian infrastructure, such as power plants, which are already on the verge of collapse. This would be a way to paralyze the regime without provoking open war. Additionally, Trump's team appears to have a clear priority: resolving the war in Ukraine. A deal between Russia and Ukraine would allow the U.S. to redirect its focus toward Iran and punish the regime for its alleged plans to assassinate the former president. What does this mean for the future? Friends, the situation with Iran is tenser than ever. The Ayatollahs are facing an uncertain future. Their economy is more fragile than during Trump's first term. The alliance with Russia could crumble if the U.S. secures a peace deal in Ukraine. And with Trump potentially returning to the White House, the Iranian regime could face the most brutal pressure campaign in its history. In short, we are at a critical crossroads. Will Trump succeed in dismantling the Ayatollah's power and ending Iran's nuclear program? Or will Iran find new ways to resist? Only time will tell. This is just the tip of the iceberg, friends. We'll keep a close eye on how this geopolitical chessboard unfolds. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and comment your thoughts. Are we on the brink of a major conflict in the Middle East? See you in the next video.